Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be diving into the topic of projection, which can be a bit tricky to understand. So what is projection, you might ask? Projection is when we associate our thoughts, feelings, or motives onto other people. Also, projection doesn't just happen in relationships, it can also happen with your friends, your coworkers, etc. Next, I'm going to be talking about my personal experience with projection. This is very deeply personal to me, so I'm sorry if I pause or crack. But yeah, during the breakup with my ex-boyfriend, he said things like, "Oh, you wouldn't leave me. Our relationship was so strong. You threw our relationship away, and also I'm ending my life, like a suicidal thing." After receiving those messages, I felt incredibly hurt. It was such a challenging time because I felt that everything was my fault, and I couldn't understand why would someone that I cared and loved so much would do such hurtful things to me. But yeah, so this was a really tough time for me, and it took me a long time to really fully process everything. I'm still in the healing process, of course, but and yeah, with time of with time and reflection, I am realizing that it wasn't my fault, and I am learning on how to become stronger mentally and physically. And I also realized that those messages were coming from hurt on his end and not a reflection of my self worth. So this is a really deep one because this is my first relationship, so I didn't really know about everything, like what happens afterwards. I denied basically a lot of things. Oh, everyone was warning. All my friends were oh, this is not a good person. What are you doing? Stuff like that. And I straight up denied those accusations because they were accusations at the time because of everything. And yeah, and I loved him that much, so that I basically put him first before my friends, um which was a very hard thing to do. But yeah, even though I get grilled and roasted about, it's actually kind of helping me with everything in the process. So yeah, that's pretty much. So yeah, before I end the video, I'm gonna leave you guys with 7 tips on how you can see and recognize projection. My number one is my personal favorite thing, is don't respond, is because if someone's projecting you over text, it is so important to not respond, because if you do respond, it can create and add more fuel to the fire. And it also doesn't really solve the problem. You think that, oh, if you keep going, if you just keep texting rapid fire back, then everything will be fine. Oh, I won the case. No, that's not always the case. Number one is don't respond. My personal advice is my personal thing, because I feel like if you do respond, it's gonna create more problems than actually solving the problems than not. So yeah, number one is don't respond. My case, I didn't respond because it was just more of his hurt coming from, so I just let him keep going and stuff like that, over text messaging, over the text messages and stuff like that. So yeah, and it can also, like I said, it can also make you guys both angry on one end. He'll get even more, the person will get even more mad than the person actually already was, and then you'll get mad, and then it will start creating fire. So number one is don't respond. Number two is talk to someone, whether it's your counselor, your therapist, your advisor, your mom or dad, a trusted friend, or it could be anyone you want. Just someone who you really trust in your life, and someone who has your best interests. It's important to seek support because they can help you navigate for the difficult situation or whenever you're in. So I feel like going to a trusted person will always help you get through the healing process. I'm very thankful for all the support I have here. That everyone has been very kind to me through all of this and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm very thankful for everyone here at CIP. They have been through this journey with me through so much. I've been through so much, and everyone's been very thankful and kind and very helpful. So yeah. Number 3 is self-reflection. It's also important to take time and reflect your own feelings and motives. I feel like that is also very important because I feel like once within time, you'd be like, oh, okay, it wasn't my fault. It was more of his. It was more hurt on his end, and it takes time to finally realize like, oh, it wasn't my fault and stuff like that. So it's important to take time and reflect your own feelings and motives. Also, understanding your own emotions can help differentiate between your feelings and projection onto others. That is true. I feel like with me, it felt like everything was my fault because I feel like because I was the one who like oh like I broke it off because um I just reached my breaking point. I couldn't take it anymore. So yeah, I couldn't really take it anymore, and yeah, stuff happened. Like I didn't like I was gonna break it off and then just left it there, but I didn't expect what was gonna happen afterwards. So I feel like that one has really traumatized the most, like the after effect. Like the breakup part was, I mean, yes, that part did hurt. Like that part did actually hurt, like really hurt. But I feel like what got to me more than most was what the after effect was, because I did not expect that blow up like that. So yeah, that was fun. So yeah, that part took me a lot more time to heal than everything else. Like the breakup part was like okay, like it's fine, like everything was my fault. But then it was more the actions that came afterward of his actions that came afterwards, like the trying to get people and stuff like that. So that was the part that really hit for me than everything else. So yeah. Number 4, is time. It might be annoying to hear because everyone says like, "Oh, it's gonna take time and stuff," but actually, it does help within an if you give yourself time and don't rush into going out with someone else. That is true. I kind of did that the hard way because it's hard to hear when you're like, "Oh, it's gonna take time. Everything's gonna be fine." Blah 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 blah. You're just like, I just don't want. I'm like the person's like, no, I don't want time. I just wanted to like that. And yeah, I feel like I'm finally realizing like, oh, it's okay to take actually time for yourself and be within yourself and focus on things that are happening right now. That's okay. Like I have all my friends and stuff like that, and that's been very helping me very well. And yeah, everyone's been very supportive with everything. So yeah, okay. Number 5 is set boundaries. This type can work with any relationship, whether it's the intimate relationship, friendships, work relationships, whatever relationship it is, best friends, whatever, whoever, etc. Establishing healthy boundaries can help protect yourself from the negative effects of projection. That is true. I feel like if early on, if you set boundaries and if people respect that, then I feel like you're good, you're golden. Like you set boundaries for yourself and for other people. So be like, oh, I want time to myself. Like be like, you'll text your friends, be like, hey, I want some time for myself, and I don't feel like I don't like we can hang out tomorrow night. I feel like you need to set those boundaries early, so then people can understand your boundaries and be like, hey, like, and respect them. If they don't, then are they your true friends? Like that's the question. So if people don't respect your boundaries, then are those your true friends? Like that's the question I'm gonna leave out in the world. Number 6 is affirmations. It's important to practice self-love, especially after a breakup, whether it's again like a relationship or a friendship, because that can also hit very hard too. So yeah, because it can make you stronger mentally and physically. My my advice or tip would be to grab a bunch of post-it notes and post them everywhere and leave a bunch of positive notes to yourself, like on your bathroom wall, on your bathroom mirror, your wall, or whatever, or yeah. So, or do whatever makes you happy. If you like coloring, color makes you happy, then do it. Like, I don't care. Just find something that's like positive, reinforcing. Like we gotta reframe the mind, and we gotta reinforce it with positive energy. There we go. I'm gonna leave that one too. Number 7, last one, is recognizing the signs. It's very important to be aware of the signs of projection, such as blaming others for your own feelings or accusing others of things or motives that they might not have. That is true. Yeah, I feel like that's a part I need to learn for next time, because I feel like if you recognize the signs early on, then you can get out of that relationship safely without hurting yourself or another person. So I feel like if you recognize the signs and you're like, oh, like this relationship is not gonna work out, or you don't feel like it's not gonna go work out, then it's important to see the signs and then think about what you're gonna do. Think about it before you take actions. Because I feel like if you take actions too quickly, then things will start to get messy. So I feel like if you recognize this, if you see the signs, think about your next steps, and then talk to them about it. Then you can peacefully move on within yourself and then each other. So, all right. I'm gonna leave you guys with a little piece of advice before I end this video. So if you are someone that you know is dealing with the projection, I just want to let you guys know that you are not alone. By recognizing these signs, practicing self-reflection, and seeking support when needed, we can navigate through these challenging situations with resilience and understanding. Also remember that it's okay to seek help and prioritize your mental health. Together we can create a community full of support and understanding. Thank you for watching this video, and please remember to take care of yourself. Peace.